Thank you for joining our data engineering um, program today. So let's get started. So a little bit about Transfer Tech Academy, right? So we have over 13 years, over a decade of experience in helping people in their IT careers and empowering students as well. We have over 3,000 plus students trained globally. Like I mentioned, we have over 13 years of experience. We have a 60 to 70% placement rate for graduates, right? So what does that mean? So when you are done with this course and this program, we also help you with the job placement support as well. So all that included, we have a 60% placement rate for all our graduates. And lastly, but not least, we're also e-verified by the USCIS. So rest assured that all our quality programs are accredited. Moving forward, so what is our six-step process that we follow here, right? So you start off with career counseling, right? So that's when you talk to one of our advisors. The initial consultation will basically be how we define what is a good role for you, what you can expect, what your training plan is going to look like, what the program will include, and so forth. So, for example, right now you're joining our webinar, right? So this is where we kind of give you an idea of what we do here, who your instructor is, what you'll be covering. And that's when you once you get past this stage, we start with our enrollment process. Lectures and labs, right? So everything that you'll be learning is going to be hands-on with your instructor as well. So every little step, every day that you gradually progress, everything will be hands-on, not just theory-based. So that means whatever your instructor is practicing, you're going to be doing the same exact thing as he is. And not just that, you're going to be given homeworks, exercises, real world scenarios, what it would look like if you were to actually be in the real life job market with an actual job. And that's kind of how the class is structured, right? Once you're done with that, you're going to go through an internship through us, right? So what does that mean? So we're going to work on your portfolio, for example, your capstone projects, right? So everything that you learn, so once everything that you learned here will be marketed in your resume, your portfolio, and your capstone projects. So in your capstone projects, for example, companies might be looking for a certain XYZ skill set, and they might ask or they might be looking for, hey, have you done or worked on this product before? So that's where you kind of shine, and you could show that you've actually done this with us, right? So that's one of the things that you'll also be going through with us. Interview preparation, right? So once you're done with this entire step of going through the entire course, everything that you've learned, part of the program is making sure that you're actually prepped for the real world. So what does that mean, right? So we're not just going to be doing mock interviews. We're also going to be personally working with you with the recruiter who's going to be helping you with your resume, your marketing email, applying for you externally for XYZ. For example, you could say like LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, everywhere else. And then we polish you for these mock interviews as well. So once you're out in the real life interview scenario, every step of the way, whether you're talking to the recruiter, whether you're talking to a technical person from that company, every round, you will be prepped on how to answer questions, your communication skills, all the skill sets that you've learned. And basically, that's also kind of what job marketing does, right? So we connect you with the employers, navigate you through your job applications. We build an ATS friendly resume for you that showcases everything that you've learned and all your expertise, and also kind of build your resume around what that exact specific job description is. Moving forward, I am the product and operations manager here, so that you can take a screenshot in the screen if you want to for my contact number or my email. So my job here is to make sure that whatever you are learning is what is current in the market today, right? So what does that mean? So if you leave here with the course and the program completed, everything that you're learning is what is being applied presently and in the upcoming future as well. So you stay relevant with the market and with the foreseeable future coming up. So this is all curated very well with not just, it's just not like it's a team effort, right? So it's working with my academics, academicians, my instructors, my recruiters, everybody, we work together and make sure this is how this process comes along. Miss Nishat is our manager, and for customer support, you can also take a screenshot here if you want. You can reach out to her if you have any queries, any questions regarding the course, anything related that might be the product, company, anything that you need any help with. She will be the best person for you to reach out to. Mehdi Islam is one of our leading IT recruiters. He will be one of these people that are going to be helping you once you are done with the course, once you're done with the program. So these are the guys that make sure that once you're out there, once everything you've learned, your resume is up to date, and then they start marketing for you and then making sure that you get the job placement necessary. Until and unless you get a job, they're going to be there for you to make sure that you get those interviews coming in. Moving forward, course details, right? So I explained a little bit about how things work. So this is about data engineering, full stack. So you're going to get a 10-month intensive program basically designed to make sure you're job ready for a data engineering or basically in that field, a role in that data engineering field. So like I mentioned, you're going to have a 10-month duration course. Instructions will be live and they'll be held by your instructor, Mr. Fayek over here. You will have mentorship, you will have one-on-one support, and obviously you will have LMS, which is our learning management system. So and you're going to be added to your group chat as well with other students. So any questions you have, let's say even if you missed a class, all those things will be recorded as well. So you can always revisit a topic, maybe if you didn't understand it properly as well. Class hours, right? So we're looking at about 4 hours per week as of right now, realistically. So you're looking at maybe, for example, you could say classes might be held on a Monday and then maybe on a Friday or a Saturday. So it's about 2 to 3 hours, give or take, right? Every week. In between, you're going to get a little bit of a gap. So where you study, you recapture what you learned in your class, and then we come back the next following week. Career support is one of those things that I also mentioned to you before with the interview preparation and the job market readiness. And practical experience is also what I was talking about, those capstone projects that you'll be doing, those GitHub profiles that will be made for you. Everything will be structured around a real life hands-on experience. So you guys can get the best of everything and make sure that you're actually ready for the real world. Moving forward, this is your instructor, Mr. Fayek Chowdhury. Mr. Fayek, do you want to do a little introduction for yourself?
Yeah, hey, thanks, Brian. Appreciate the time. Hello, everyone. My name is Fayek. Sorry about the lighting. My office is pointed towards the window, so it gives a bad camouflage. So I have my ring light on. But hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. Nice to meet everyone. I look forward to getting to know everyone. So before I tell you a little bit about the course, let me tell you about where I started. So around in 2016, I had zero tech experience. And just like yourselves, I was interested in some sort of boot camp and I landed with Transfer Tech, which eventually I took the course and Transfer Tech assisted me in landing a role in QA engineering. Within over the past 10 years, I've worked in multiple different domains and different companies. I currently work as a lead technical analyst. My current day-to-day really does consist of doing a lot of ETL testing and database testing and intensive complex SQL validation across our data integrations and pipelines. So this curriculum that we have created, this course that we have for you guys is all around of what I'm doing in my day-to-day and to convey that to you guys and teach it to you guys. More recently, I've gone also into a deep dive into AI that I'm using in the work field today. And not just using it, but working with agentic development in my day-to-day work. And that's actually why this course is kind of a little bit different from a lot of other data engineering programs out there. We're not just going to teach you SQL, Python, and data pipelines. We're also going to teach you effectively how to utilize AI in the work field today, real prompt engineering and AI-assisted workflows. Okay? And main reason behind this is because generally how the field is being changed today is that all teams are essentially have some integration of AI in their work field. Okay. All right, great. Excellent. So main thing is when I built this curriculum, I didn't just do it just from a textbook perspective. I built it with my 10 years experience and my last 5 years experience in the data world and the last really 2 to 3 years in the AI world. So from this course, we'll take you from zero to hero. So no background is going to be needed. Alrighty. So Ryan, if you don't mind, I'm going to take over. Just show a little
Sure.
quick demo.
Yep. I'll stop sharing. You can go ahead,
Okay,
Fayek.
and then we'll take some questions from everybody. Okay. I'm gonna go on video for now, guys. I hope that's okay. So, as mentioned, today's the webinar, guys. We're really trying to give you guys an introduction of data engineering, what roles are out there, and why essentially this course might be something you might be interested in. As you guys already might be utilizing AI, ChatGPT, or Claude to some extent, the tech industry has seen a major disruption with AI, but the data world has became only became more vital. Okay, so that's why this course is well designed to handle the new ever-changing data engineering role with AI and make you basically indispensable in the tech industry today. So what I created for you guys is just a little quick overview demo of what we're going to cover throughout the course. And I also heavily used Claude to do that. So essentially, instead of going over what the course, what we're going to teach and stuff, let's really look into a little demo of what the problem is today. So essentially what you're looking at, make this bigger for you guys. Hope everyone can see. Right. This is essentially a snapshot of what actual data looks like when it lands in a business's inbox. It's not clean, it's not organized. This is a real export straight from a source system. If you look closely, you can see Maria Chen appears twice. You can see different formatted dates. Some don't even have values, and different case sensitivity. So now, as beginners, this might not mean much, but this is essentially how data is utilized by the business today, not by the engineering team, by the business. Our goal is to understand first databases, understand how to recognize and look at data, data storytelling, find issues. And around the month 1 and 2, we'll be using our SQL skill set, learning SQL from scratch, and databases, and practicing on it, and learning how to essentially take this data and make it a little bit more workable for future pipelines, future data works. One main problem is when you have data like this, when we connect this to other stuff that's involved, that's going to use this data, it's going to be thrown off because there's no consistency. So then eventually we'll get to this. We'll learn Python from scratch, and here's the same data after it's been cleaned, and we'll learn how to do that. And here's the important part. This wasn't fixed by hand in Excel, right? Because I wouldn't waste time doing that. Nobody sat there for 20 minutes retyping dates. This was fixed by a Python script. And in this course, we'll teach you how to use Python, how to learn Python, and essentially use Python for data cleaning. This will be around month 3, month 4 of the program, where we'll talk about pandas and NumPy, two of the most popular data Python libraries out there that essentially works with data from different aggregations to data cleaning to procedures and even more. Right? So from raw data to clean data to make organized data. Right? Now we have organized data. The clean data still isn't enough to building reports that the business is going to use for future business and revenue and whatever the case may be. We have to understand that clean data still isn't enough to build real reporting on top of. Right? Especially once you're not dealing with just 4 rows. Right now, we're only seeing 4 rows of data. Real world, there might be millions of records or even more. This we turn into using data modeling from clean data to now organized data, meaningful data that could be utilized by the business. And we'll also learn this around month 4 to month 5 of the course. Then the cool part, what I like to enjoy, the automated pipelines. Now, here's the thing. Everything we just walked through, cleaning and modeling, nobody wants to sit down and do all that by hand every single day. As you'll learn in the course, in the real industry, engineers are lazy. Engineers want to automate everything. So around month 8, we're going to talk about something called airflow. How to take this entire process that we just did of extracting and cleaning and turn it into a job that runs automatically on a schedule without anybody touching it. We call this our ETL process. We will also be introduced to ETL testing, extract, transfer, load testing, around month 7 to month 8 of the program. And in the end, why do we do this? What is the purpose of this? Why are companies paying high salaries for these roles? Is to eventually have some monetary value out of it. Now we see what's on the screen: KPI cards, key performance indicator cards, and a revenue by region chart calculated from the same data that started out in month 1. So essentially, we took that data, we did some aggregation, some sort of mathematical calculation, and understanding revenue per region. Now, this revenue per region, someone can make some sort of business decision on that. Do we need to amp up, marketing in one region than another? Where are we making the most business? Where should we be focusing our time in? So that's the real use case of data engineering: getting data into our platforms, using data systems and different software, and essentially making them into clean data and turning them into usable reports that the business will be utilizing. We'll be also talking about cloud services that we might be using in this course. We'll be also talking about data visualization libraries such as Matplotlib and Seaborn to create actual dashboards. A lot of times the business might ask us for dashboards. Usually those are kind of data scientist roles, but we're also going to be giving some introduction into that as well. So this is just a high-level demo of what we essentially want to accomplish in this course, and a case study of what's really going on in the day-to-day today. So that's the full loop: raw, messy, real-world data, all the way to a dashboard a business actually relies on. Every single stage you just watched maps directly onto a month in this program. And by the end, you will have built this exact process yourself, which, as Mr. Ryan mentioned, we're going to build a portfolio around that we could use to market you and to essentially market you when it's time to look for data engineering roles in the industry. So that portfolio is really going to be essential. And while we go through the course in building it, that capstone project, that's something you're going to want to talk about in the interviews, because you've actually essentially done that, right? Okay. All right. Any quick questions on that? On the little demo I just showcased to you guys of what we want to accomplish with the course. Excellent, excellent. I'm going to take the silence as everyone is good. Great. Mr. Ryan, if you want to take over, you can feel free.
Hey, fine. This is Labib here, so I'll share the slides.
Okay. Hey, Labib, how's it going?
Doing great. Just seeing how taking care of all of it.
So yeah, so as everyone mentioned, I will be the instructor of the course. I'm sorry if I didn't say that. We will be ideally meeting, as Mr. Ryan mentioned, 4 hours a week. We'll figure out the timeline at some point. Okay. But as much as I'm going to be here and Transfer Tech is going to be here applying resources and assisting you throughout this process, it's going to take commitment on your part as well. We're going to provide you with homeworks and labs, but it's going to be up to you to be engaged. Come to the course, come to the lectures ready to learn, asking questions, and doing the work as well, doing the homeworks, really collaborating during the lectures as well. The lectures are going to be a collaborative thing as well. Like, I'm not just going to be sitting there and teaching. I'm going to also be essentially, asking you guys to share your screen, working on challenges in class, seeing how you can solve that in the class. Okay. Yes, we're going to use definitely real cloud services in this course. Okay, good job. So again, this was the capstone project we essentially kind of brought up, but this would be towards the end when we essentially make a real world case study of what I just outlined. We're going to be working with much larger data. It's not just going to be 4 rows. It's going to be more intense. It's going to include more complex SQL, more complex coding. But by that time, you guys would have gotten enough practice that you should be able to do this. And why this is essential is that, as we mentioned, this is going to be a part of your portfolio and a part of marketing you for employers, right? They're going to want to know, hey, what have you actually done? What experience do you actually have? Yeah, you can talk about it, but have you actually built data pipelines? And then they'd want to see it. So you would actually have that work done. So you should be also able to talk about it in the interview. I'm also going to assist you with that, right? I'm going to guide you through that. You guys be working with your team as well too, with your peers. But overall, this is a really strong advantage towards the end of the course to have this project inside of your portfolio for marketing purposes. Okay, it'll be sort of like the end all be all that gives you some sort of motivation, and that you know what you're talking about now. You're ready to go into the market. Okay. All righty, Levy, can you go to the next slide, please? Awesome. So why data engineering? Right. So there's definitely a lot of roles out there, guys. There's data analysts, right? Data scientists, data engineering. Data engineers are a little bit different, but they're in the middle. They're not a data scientist, so we're not making predictions of data. We're not a data analyst, but we do work with a lot of data analyst skill set. We're relying on SQL. We're doing a lot of cleanup. But a lot of the stuff data analysts might also give to us, clean data or aggregated data. Our main jobs as a data engineering will be building pipelines, right? Making pipelines and how data can be moved from environment to environment from different sources, such as Azure sources, such as third-party integrators, such as APIs, whatever the case is, and eventually making into some sort of automated pipeline where it's running and then being released to production. Data engineering is expanding a lot, especially with AI. It kind of correlates with AI, as essentially AIs are also using machine learning models, which do consist of data. So that is something you could work your way into in the real world, right? So data engineering has a lot of different roles out there right now. It's very hot in the market. And as you can see, it also pays a lot of money as well. A lot of reason because you're going to be working with large data sets. And it's very intense, even in the real world, right? So we need to make the course somewhat intense so you're prepared for that as well. So it's a role that really isn't going anywhere. It's just expanding. And we think this is a great time to get on board with it. And these are some of the salaries that you can expect for data engineering roles. All right, we have a question. You guys do training on Dynamics CRM 365? We are not doing any training session on Dynamics CRM 365, actually. We're going to be using Azure, but not that, Gulam. Okay. All right, Libby, can you go to the next slide, please? All right, Ryan, did you want to talk about this?
You can take it. I'll take over in a few.
Okay. So these are just some potential job openings that you guys could be qualified for. So as mentioned, there's going to be a different variety of students, right? Some people might be some stronger than others. It really depends on you, but we like to make the course well-rounded so you do qualify for data analyst roles. But you should also be qualifying up for data engineering roles, senior data engineering roles. It really depends on you. Our job in this course is to make you well-rounded to be covering all sides of data, minus data scientists. So we're not doing machine learning models if anybody is talking about that. Okay. So these are some of the roles you can be looking into, right? Data automation engineer, as you can see, making data pipelines. You could also see, for instance, data quality assistant, BI assistant. We're also going to be talking about some common tools out there, such as Tableau and BI, Power BI. So I don't want to go too into the curriculum, but those are some things we're also going to bring up in the course. So these are some of the roles you can be looking at. Obviously, some roles might be paying more than others, but this is something that would essentially break you into the market and for you to work your way up in the market, right? Maybe you start off as a data analyst intern, and then you can work your way up into a data engineer, right? Or even a QA and data testing analyst, and work your way up into a data engineer as well too. Okay. The course is going to be primarily around data engineering, so that's going to be the goal of it. But along that path, we're going to cover a lot of the other skill set that data analysts also utilize, essentially.
So guys, kind of like your instructor Fayek mentioned here, right? So do we require coding experience? We do require a minimum of a GED, right? As long as you have a basic computing knowledge, right? You should be good to go. Do you require an IT background? No. Is there an age restriction? So I wouldn't say there's an age restriction, but as long as you have your high school diploma and you're willing to learn and you're willing to put in the effort, then absolutely this is for you. Let me move to the next slide, please. So the payment plans, right? So we're holding our webinar today, and if you were one of these early enrollments, if you paid in full, it will be $4,300 in total. Remind you, this includes the entire program, right? This includes the entire program, right? So the entire program consists of the course itself, your mentorship, your one-on-one sessions with your instructor, your every single guidance that you would require. Once you're done with that, the job placement support as well. All of this is included into this program in that pricing range. You have different payment plans. For early enrollment, as you can see, if it's a 3-month payment plan, you'll be paying $1,600 for 3 months. For 6 months, it will be $850 for a total of $5,100, and then in 8 months, it will be $775 for $6,200 in total. Standard tuition, right? So what does that mean? So we're gonna hold our master class, which is gonna be on the 17th of August, as of right now. So that would be 4,800. And then as per that payment plan, you would still have a 3-month payment plan, 6-month, and an 8-month payment plan, explained over here as 1,700 for 3 months, 900 for 6 months, and 840 for 8 months. Labib, do you want to move to the next slide, please? All right, guys, if you have any questions and answers for Mr. Fayek or myself, now would be the time to ask and go ahead.
If you guys have answers, I'll take them.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, Fike. So my question is like, which cloud platform are you gonna cover here? Like Microsoft Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud?
We will be specifically looking at Azure and AWS, both
Or
clouds.
both?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Again, Mr. Ghulam, I answered your question in the chat. Hopefully that helps. Do not, for anyone who's somewhat weary, what's a better way of saying it, skeptical about the coding side. Again, coding is it's a core skill set needed for data engineering. That's why it's data engineering and not data analysis. But no worries, we will be learning from scratch. We'll be moving at somewhat good pace, so you do need to keep up. But I promise you, if you do the homeworks, keep up with the labs, ask questions, you shouldn't be able to fall behind. Okay. Um, and as well as we're also going to be covering prompt engineering, right? So essentially, yeah, you need to learn how to know how to code, but you also you need to learn, you need to know how coding works, how object-oriented programming works, and essentially how to utilize it. But AI can, when you get good at it, AI will eventually help you essentially write all the code. That's what everyone's doing today. Okay, but you can't just going at it from no experience at all, right? If you have no experience of coding, you're essentially not going to know how to implement the code, right? You're going to spend more time on AI just learning as opposed to just AI writing code and you just implement it. You just using it. Okay.
Let me take this one. Five. So,
Sure.
Mr. Golam, you said program cost is high. Well, we have to take into account that this is going to be a 10-month journey, right? This is going to require effort from your side and from ours as well. And not just that, since we're also helping you with the job placement support, there's a lot of work that has been put into here to make sure that not just that we succeeded in what we're doing on our part, but we make sure you're successful when you come out of here as well. So naturally, that's why we also came up with the payment plan. So you don't have to put everything down if you can't. So there are options for you guys. So we are willing to work with you, if that answers your question. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
Go.
you have, I agree with you. You have multiple payment plan, which is helpful, but at the same time, I think the interest rate is pretty much higher than the usual. To me, it
Okay.
looks like that. I'm not sure exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. But at the same time, like I said, so we want if you don't pay up front, right? Let's say the entire payment plan, we have costs that we have to cover as well from our perspective as well, right? From that side. So that's one of the reasons. But like I said, can I call you Mr. Abu? So, Mr. Abu,
Yeah,
you can
sure.
talk to
Yeah.
your career advisor once you're done with this meeting, and then we can further discuss down the road, and we could figure out how you want to proceed or what we could break down for you in that sense as well. But this is to just give you a generic idea, a basic idea of what it would look like, if that answers your question. Um, there was a
Hey,
question. Is there
thanks,
any
Raihan.
Yeah, no worries, anytime. Um, is there any rules for after placement? Can you explain that better? Like, are you saying when you say rules, are you saying like any income and sharing agreement or anything of that nature? If that's your question, then no. So to basically put it, what you pay us here is what you pay us, and then once you get out of here, your job, your whatever you make, you don't disclose that information with us, nor do we disclose it with anybody else, even if you share it with us. Are there any rules for place after placement? No, we just want you out here with a job. Can't take any other questions.
So you mentioned that about the capstone projects, right? So
Yes, sir.
is it gonna be like in between classes with the relevant topics, or like end of the course there will be a few months for the projects and stuff? Like how it's gonna go? Like,
Fine. Do you want to take that one?
Yeah. It's not going to be a few months, first of all, but yeah, it's like a final project that you're going to be doing. And towards the end of the course, it's going to be on your own. Um, and it's going to be like 2 weeks, not a few months. But you could think of it as a final project encompassing all the skill sets you learn in the course.
basically creating a pipeline, right?
An end-to-end pipeline, correct.
End-to-end pipeline. Thanks.
Right, that runs, that reports, that's automated, everything I showed. So it'll essentially make a poll out to some sort of source to get the data, clean the data, maybe do some more logic in the data, transfer the data, assert that data, and then move that data into a scheduled job, report, dashboard, all of that will essentially be your capstone project.
Mr. Abu, let me add a little bit to that as well. So obviously, you're gonna have all those things done towards the end, but Mr. Fayek is also gonna make sure that everything that you're learning is being covered and it being explained, so you don't necessarily feel like you're taking on too much load towards the end. So everything's gonna be broken down from you, from scratch to more advanced stuff as you progress, right? So that's the entire goal here. But yes, at the end, like Mr. Fayek mentioned, your instructor over here, you will be doing a final capstone project, which will be highlighted as one of the things that you've finished in your portfolio.
Yeah, so like basically, I assume the courses will be like SQL, then some basic Python, and then going to Data Factory or Databricks, PySpark, all those. And Fike said that you're gonna cover both Azure and AWS. So that
Correct.
means, yeah, it will be a lot. So
It is going to be a lot, yes.
so my question was not question. So if we had a course outline by the page and topic, then it would be better for us, right? So when will be SQL classes, when will be Python, and when will be all other classes project, the 10-month roadmap. Are you gonna
Sure.
have that? Yeah.
Absolutely, Mr. Abu. So what this was basically an introduction to us and your instructor and kind of giving you a small overview of what you're looking at, right? Your career advisor, your advisor will definitely stay in touch with them, and they will kind of give you the rundown of the course and what the roadmap would look like, so you have a better idea. Make
Hey,
sense?
Rahan, thanks. Yeah,
No
thanks.
worries, anytime. Guys, any other questions I can take for you? All right. If there's no more questions, Lavi, do you mind moving on to the next slide, please? Can I do pay after half amount after job placement? Unfortunately, Golam, we can't do that because it just doesn't work for us that way, right? So we have to make sure that we cover our end as well, but I can't give you half because what you would have is a lot of institutions, if you go to them, I understand it's hard for you. Definitely speak to your advisor, and then maybe we can figure out something that's a little bit feasible for you, or we can break it down for you a little bit more. Definitely help you out. We're here to help. That's the entire goal here, right? But if you were to look at other institutions, a lot of places, what they do is they'll charge you at least 15%, 20% of your income or XYZ, or they'll take up 25K or whatever the case may be, right? So we don't do any of those things. Like when you get that job, it's yours, and we don't share any income. We don't do any income sharing agreements, right? So that's kind of why we take the payment, we break it down, or we break it down into we take an upfront payment, or we break it down into a payment plan. But like I said, Gulam, stay in touch with your career advisors. For example, these are some of our team members here that are going to be helping you out, and probably you have spoken to, right? So stay in touch with them after this webinar session. You might have more questions. You might have questions about payment, what XYZ, whatever it is, course curriculum. They will inform you a lot better, right? I can give you an outline, and they will work with you as well. At the same time, um, like I said, as for Mr. Abu, for example, like if you need the course, the roadmap, that will be shared with you as well, so you have a better idea. So do stay in touch, and they will not ping you. So I guess we could go from there. And
So
yeah, go ahead.
so speaking of career advisor, so I'm not sure I'm talking with anyone in this picture here.
So
So
this is just basically
okay,
a little bit of the team. So I can't
okay,
fit
okay.
everybody in one picture, right?
So I'm speaking with Jubair. Yeah, that's
Okay,
his name.
that's fine. He's
Okay,
definitely one of these guys here as well.
okay,
So
okay,
he will help you out. And Mr. Abu,
okay.
I will contact you as well if you need any other questions or help after this session. So we'll stay in touch. We'll definitely stay in touch, and I'll be here to help you out as well.
Hey, thanks.
No problem.
I had a quick
Okay,
question.
go ahead, please.
So the learning process, should that be project-based learning or like just lecture-based, like, okay, guys, we're gonna study like SQL and this topic we're gonna cover, or like we're gonna we're gonna be given a real project and then we'll work through it to learn stuff. Like, how would that work?
Um, So I guess Fiverr, I could take this, but no, this is not a theory-based class only, right? So this is going to be hands-on stuff. So everything that your instructor is showing you, right? You're going to be learning all these things through hands-on because the entire point of the program is to make sure that once you get behind that keyboard, you learn it once, you don't have to like you learn it once and you apply it multiple times. It becomes second nature to you, right? So that's why everything is going to be hands-on. So you're not just going to be looking at a lecture and just be like, "Oh, hey guys, we're learning this today." No, you're actually learning through basically doing hands-on live stuff and real life-based scenarios. Does that make sense?
Yes, I was asking that because they said that like there would be a capstone project at the end, so that means like that's like a real world project to me. So that would be the only project we'll be dealing with, like in terms of a complete project that will include maybe the ETL, SQL, Python, and everything, the whole environment that we'll be using, right?
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
in between all those things, you're gonna have homework, you're gonna practice, right? You're gonna have your instructor, you're gonna have questions, you're gonna get through all those things hands-on. But towards the end, obviously, you can't do the capstone project if you don't have any real hands-on experience while you're doing the class. So you're definitely that is one of those things that you're definitely gonna be getting. So towards the end, you're gonna be confident about everything that you've learned and you've practiced, and those things will be added to your capstone projects.
Yeah,
So
and
like,
piggyback off of that, the course is going to be somewhat lectures, right, to teach new concepts and new topics. But then we're going to be actually doing challenges in class. For instance, SQL, I'm not just going to teach SQL and ask you, hey, what is SQL and stuff. You're going to essentially get business challenges in the beginning for your homework. Hey, find me the highest customer paying the most money from that lives in Texas. So we'll be working with a real database, using a real tool, using actual software, free software, by the way. The tech stack is going to be free, applying our skill set. So lectures will be learning, and then homework and labs will be essentially using your skill set. We're going to also have some mini projects along the way. The capstone project will be the end all be all, sort of like the final exam. But throughout the course, there'll be many checkpoints, right? Hey, do I know Python well enough? Can I create? You'll have a mini Python project. Hey, can I look at a data set with 400,000 rows and look for flaws in it, clean it up, do some ETL processes on it to make some sort of cleaner data set that actually is meaningful. So you'll have also those along throughout the course too, as well. Okay, so it's a
Okay.
little bit of both.
All right, guys, thank you so much for taking the time and joining. We appreciate it. We will stay in touch. Kindly do respond to your advisors. They will give you more information. Like I said, I'll be here to answer any questions that you may have as well, if it's through them. And we look forward to seeing you here. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Have a good night.